Good morning, my name is Steve Janz and welcome to my video series. Today we're going to focus on transfer pricing domestic. You've heard me say in class that a lot of problems that students make come down to reading. This is a challenging reading question. You have to read it really carefully, underline the information, highlight the information, take your time with the reading. I'm going to solve parts B and C with you today, show you how to basically solve these parts, the careful things to read into the question, and help you do really well on a test. Let's get started. Part B. Part B is all about this data right here. Taking a look at the variable cost. You have this opportunity to basically sell more of the product to assemble. And you want to basically focus on the minimum transfer price, which we know is the variable cost in this situation. So let's take a look at this question, analyze how to solve the true variable cost for an internal transfer price. So we're told right off the bat that the variable cost is $210. Now, if we have an internal sale, that's going to affect selling and administration. When we have internal sales, selling and administration, some of those costs can be saved because we don't have to pay commissions. Marketing, of course, is actually also reduced. We're not going to have a bad debt issue. So there's a number of benefits to internal sales. That's why in so many ways it's promoted. Plus, hopefully also a great quality issue. So let's take a look now at what the variable cost will be. We're told that 20% of our variable costs are selling and administration. That means that 80% will still be a cost that we have to incur. So that's $168. But we're going to save in that 20% of that selling and administration. So our variable selling and administration, this is what you have to read really carefully, will be calculated this way. $210 times the 20% of that, which is the selling and administration. And it tells us that we're going to have a savings of 60%. Which means then that we're still going to incur 40%, and this is the careful reading part. We're still going to incur 40% of that selling and administration, which is 20% of that number, 210. That means that we're going to have 1680 of selling and administration costs, even though it's an internal transfer. That means that 184.80 is now our minimum transfer price. Now part C talks about our opportunity. Our opportunity is that we can transfer more to assemble. So let's take a look now at how we solve that. Well, for starters, we currently have 12,000 going to assemble. We have 75 going external. That means we have 19,500 being produced. Our capacity is 26,000. So that means that right now we have excess capacity of 7,500. So 26,000 minus 19,500 means that we have excess capacity of 7,500. That's our excess capacity. Well, we have this opportunity to transfer another 12,000 to assemble. So 12,000 to assemble and another 12,000 minus the excess capacity of 7,500 means that we're going to have 5,500 as our opportunity cost for units. This means that we're going to have 5,500 units that we can no longer sell externally, and that creates an opportunity cost for us. So we know that when an opportunity cost is involved, minimum transfer price is equal to variable cost plus opportunity cost. So in this case, we have to give up external sales. That is an opportunity cost for us. So how do we do that calculation? Well, we have to calculate a number first. We have to calculate that lost contribution margin. And we know in management accounting, it's all about that contribution margin. So we're told that the market price external is $265, that our variable costs external are $210. So our lost contribution margin $55. So lost contribution margin. So that's going to be our lost contribution margin per unit. So we put it all together now. How do we solve this? Well, variable cost, the first part of the formula, we calculated right up here. 184.80 plus now the opportunity cost. How do we calculate that? Well, it's $55 per unit times the 5,500 units that we have to basically forego from external sales. We calculated that right here. And I'm going to put this in a different color because it's challenging, is that we have to recognize that we're going to create one transfer price. So we're going to basically create this transfer price for all of the units. So how many units are we transferring to assemble now? Well, it's originally 12,000 plus now another 12,000. So the key is that this will be 24,000. And then when we put this all together and we do this calculation, we come up with $12.60. Add those two numbers together, which is our basic formula, variable cost plus opportunity cost, we get $197.40 as our value for part C. So overall, I hope this helps you solve these problems. And again, remember, slow down. Take your time reading the question and make sure you understand what it's asking you to solve. And of course, these percentages are tricky. So repeat this a couple times and get really good at it. Thank you.